All right, you're recording.
All right, we are on. Okay. So we've got a pretty packed agenda today. First thing we're going to do is get through our administrative stuff here. Number one, approve the minutes of the regular meeting, December 14th. Do you have a motion?
A motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Second is, you're doing the minutes?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. All in favor?
Do we have to abstain? You were absent.
Okay, 5-2. Was you with it?
That was it.
All right, second thing is approve the minutes of special joint meeting, December 14th. Auburn Sewer Auburn Sewer District Trustees. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? 5-2. Approve the minutes of the public hearing, December 14th, regarding the proposed 2023 budget. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Oh!
Me?
Got you. All right.
I paused.
All in favor? 5-2. All right, now we're going to move to executive session in accordance with MSRA 405 to discuss a legal matter. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
And seconded by Kevin. All in favor? Okay, we are in executive session. All right, we got the phone. Beautiful. Executive session. And now we're going to move back into executive session for, in accordance with MSRA 405-6C, to discuss a property matter.
I make a motion we go into executive session.
I second his motion.
Second, all in favor? Okay. And
All right,
back
so
here.
you're out of executive session.
I know, I
Probably
think so.
not.
I went to use the bathroom, and nobody downstairs.
All right, now we can
Rock and roll.
rock and roll through this because it's all right. Apologize for all the length of those, but I thought it was important to get them. All right, Tanya, financial report.
Usage was up 2% for the year. Revenues were favorable, $158,000. We missed budget on expenses by $232,000. We spent $630,000 on capital for the year, and we ended with $3.3 million cash on hand.
Okay, we know what we missed, but the expenses on the 232.
Yeah.
What was that?
Big factor was chemicals.
Oh yeah.
And there's some salaries too, I think, part of the salary account.
It was, yeah, that was, we were low on capital work, we were low on that equipment work. We're nailed with overtime at the first of the year.
So hopefully, go ahead.
I talked to one of our ratepayers, whatever, and they were of course complaining that the water rates went up and all that. Geez, why are our water rates going up? I said, the cost of chemicals.
But that
The
was-
water rates haven't gone up.
It wasn't water.
Sewer,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it
And it's
was,
the same bill.
right, I didn't think ours did it anyway, but they can probably, at some point,
We had a 9.5% rate increase in November.
in November.
How much? How much?
9.5
sewer.
on
Sewer.
sewer.
Okay,
You know that.
sorry.
Sewer went up, yeah.
We should be able to go a while without raising rates on the water.
Right.
I think so.
So,
Okay.
okay, ratified payment of bills. Anybody have any questions? Bob?
No, I moved to ratify payment of bills, and Kenny answered a few questions yesterday.
I'll second.
Second, all in
Yeah.
favor? Okay, good. Public comment, nobody's here, okay.
Just for the record, mention that Bruce.
Yeah, why don't you want to,
Yeah, so Bruce Reel was in attendance, and he just clarified that at the city council meeting, he asked for reimbursement for some legal expenses for our ratepayers.
based on the lawsuit, Lewiston's lawsuit, the
Based on
Auburn
the
Water
lawsuit, yep.
District, based on, right, yep, thank you. Old business, meeting schedule, we got that, everybody's got it, right? Yeah, it's project
Number
update.
All right, so I'll make this brief. Anyone has any questions on the activity report, you can ask me. We did have a number of water main breaks in December. It's kind of plagued us a little bit there. We got through those. I did want to ask, how does the board, I know Sid would send out an email letting you know about the leaks. At one time, we used to put it on social media just so people knew about traffic and outages. If there's a, whatever the pleasure of the board is of how, if you would like to be notified, whatever you would like, just let me know. I don't know.
Anybody have any preference or
I would
thoughts?
like to be notified, but I also had asked Sid if it at all possible to get pictures and/or at least description of what the pipe was, how old it was, what kind of, whether it was an old cast iron or what kind it was. I just don't mind to keep track of what's breaking, and if it's the same old, I just want to know.
Okay.
The crew's pretty good about taking pictures, right, of
No.
those? They are.
That's why we don't get the pictures.
Okay, but I mean, they used to be, we used to see pictures, they used to, I mean,
But, you know, when they're there, they're focused on
yeah.
getting that leak fixed, getting it repaired, getting the
Not
water back
taking
on,
pictures of it.
getting the traffic restored, getting people back into water, flushing.
We drove by
They
and
don't-
those workers were taking pictures.
They're not-
Selfies.
They're not in the hole.
Selfie, it's out in the
They're
hole.
not in the hole
One
taking
picture
selfies.
is all I'd ask
and
for, just one picture.
They were
showing
standing
it,
around
you know.
taking pictures and water was spewing all over
You
the
envision yourself, you just worked in a muddy trench, and the last thing they want to do is touch their phone.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, that when they put their bibs on, their phones are in their truck.
Yeah.
But anyways, I will work on that, and that's what we'll do.
Quick question, the average water line break, how many users are out of water? Just, I
On
mean,
average,
On average,
here's 10.
on average 10, so
Yeah.
do you think, if you want to alert us anytime that you think it's more than 10 people is going to be out of water, so that the little calls, you don't have to worry about the formality of alerting us? Is that just?
I don't need to know, but it certainly,
If it makes his job easier, is all I'm
yeah,
saying.
whatever.
I'm just trying to
makes-
serve the pleasure of the board. Whatever you would like,
It's-
I can
I
provide
don't
all
care.
that information.
I can
So,
still find out what kind of pipe.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're curious about, because I want to just keep mental note, but also some notes on what's breaking,
I'd,
but
I'd like to know at a monthly thing that we had these breaks and it was this pipe, and that's all I would need. If you want to be alerted when it's happening, I mean, that's,
okay.
would you want to add a
I always
report?
thought it was good, because especially when Hotel Road, there was a break, and people would ask me, you know, especially if it affected my neighbor, my particular neighbor.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to say, I
Okay.
don't know.
All right.
What do they do? What is out there playing?
Just in a sec, if you want to do, the pictures is whether the pictures happen or not.
Okay.
great,
And not
but if you could-
pictures, I mean, just a picture, I want to see what the pipe looked like, because I hear about these radial breaks, and I hear about these, you know, vertical, whatever type of breaks, and it'd be interesting to see what it is, and whether it's just a.
Not all of us are retired.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, but you know.
Just a couple other things on the activity report. We did have to do some tree work up around our hard scrabble reservoir site. We had a great big dead maple that was overhanging a neighboring property owner's home, you know, and its liability on our end. So we did some work up there and got the trees removed. Took some work to get to them, but we got that taken care of. I do have some action items, as we've been doing the last few years. You know, materials are hard to come by, the costs are high. Right now is the ideal time to order and get these things secured so we can proceed with work when the ground thaws and the moratoriums on digging are lifted. And I'm requesting request for approval of budgeted items in the amount of $212,000 for Hotel Road, $93,600 for Second Street, $50,000 for the hard scrabble check valve replacement. These were all budgeted items for 2023, and I would like to get these on order so we can proceed.
And I thought last month's meeting, when we approved the budget, I thought we had already approved that money for those projects, because we approved the budget. I said, oh, good, Mike's gonna order them right now, because we approved the budget, but that's not the way it works.
Every year when we approve the budget, you approve the bottom line number at the bottom of the capital. We don't improve the individual projects because while we were told they were going to reconstruct Second Street, a lot of times that changes based on funding.
Yeah.
So we have to change gears and say, oh, we can't do Hotel Road, we can't do Second Street, so we shift and then get approval from you. We're going to stay within our bottom line, but we're going to do this other project.
Mr.
So-
President, I'd like to make a motion to approve budgeted estimates in the amount of $212,000 for Hotel Road, $93,600 for Second Street, and $50,000 for hard scrabble check valve replacement.
Okay, that's seconded. Does anybody have any questions or comments? All in favor? Okay, approved.
All right, so that's
That's it.
done for activity report.
Okay, let's go
project
to, yep, water quality.
Project update?
update. Old business.
Yeah, meeting schedule, we got it, okay.
Yep, that's
good.
in the schedule.
That's it. If anybody has any questions, we'll address it, let's move on quick, it's late.
Yes.
Water quality update?
Water quality update, I'll be quick on this. There's a graph in your packet with the turbidity trend. All the way to the left side, you'll see the black lines. We're not in great shape. We're not in good shape at all. Turbidity is up. The lake is still not iced over. We've had large influxes of rain and inflow from our tributaries. Our numbers are up. It's not good. We're going to be watching this very closely, and hopefully these big storms kind of trend off. We want snow and cold weather, and for things to stabilize in the lake. But that high turbidity number that you see on that trend is due to the big storm around Christmas that we received. We had snowpack on the ground, and we got over 2.5 inches of rain. We had Lakeshore Drive was flooded over. There was a culvert failure. There's a lot of erosion that occurred. Our numbers of phosphorus went up.
Did the state do that repair on that road, or did we do it?
They did a temporary repair, but there's going to be some follow-up work this
Are they going to replace the culvert?
Yeah, they should. Yeah.
Eventually.
Eventually, yep. So that's the water quality update. We're going to keep you apprised of that.
All right, so that covers the we've covered Stable Ridge.
Yep.
And the phosphorus overview.
So I have a presentation. You want to see that, or you want to hold that for a future meeting?
Is it critical for today?
No.
I mean, is it pertinent to the water quality today?
No.
Or, okay. What do you guys think? You guys want to have it for next meeting?
Do you think next meeting is going to be as busy as this one?
I don't.
I don't think so. We won't have those big executive sessions.
So we could wait.
Yeah.
I mean, we could, you guys, what do you think?
Yeah.
Table to a date?
Wait.
A motion to table it to a date specific in the next meeting?
So moved?
Sure.
Second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
All
thank
right.
you.
District engineer search, that's ongoing. We have met with a couple of candidates. One got scoffed up out from under us. With the other one that we interviewed with, we're working on that one right now, but it's still an ongoing process. So
Okay, yeah.
the intake.
Just a quick question.
Yep.
Do you have purview on hiring an employee that may be overqualified, but could help you until we find an engineer?
So I am working on that right now, kind of doing like a potential. Careful how much we discuss in
Don't you
an
have a
open session.
fraternity with engineer buddies?
We are looking at, making some adjustments here to our staff to help with some of the workload, because right now it's, juggling a couple of things, but
I see
we're
that.
getting through. So
Okay.
with Tanya's help, we're getting through. So
If
that's
you
ongoing.
have, let's, and on that note, I mean, if we have to allocate budget differently to address a need that you have, and we have the ability to fill that need easier than we do the engineer in the short term. I mean,
Yeah.
come up with if you have a plan that you think will work
Right.
to address the needs, let us know.
Because I got no co-pilot right now.
Right.
So, you can use a couple flight attendants to help you out until you get it on the airplane, on the ground.
Yeah, right.
My
Yeah, we'll-
analogy.
We'll bring
Hold
you
on
more.
to the stick like this. So, if you think there's a solution that could be a short-term solution, if we need help in the office, if we need help, whatever we need,
Okay.
let us know what it is, and we'll try and help.
All right.
I think, is that what you're saying, Dan?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Excellent. No, we'll do that. We'll bring that
Thank you.
forward. Yep.
If you need it sooner in the next meeting, let me know, and
Okay.
we'll get it out to let us know.
Okay.
That intake extension.
So Sid did draft up an RFP for an intake extension to our existing intake. It's really a study. So we have to study, is it going to be beneficial? How would it be beneficial? Should we have 2 intake pipes? Should we just literally extend the one we have? How do we do this? So it's really a study within a conceptual design of an intake if the study shows that it would be beneficial. So we have that all ready to go. What we're kind of waiting on is, so Lewiston, they're on a fiscal budget, we're on a calendar year budget. Their approval will be in June. They don't want to put a project out on the street unless they can say, yeah, our budget's approved and we can match or come up with that funding. So I'm actually meeting with Kevin on Friday, Kevin Gagne from the city of Lewiston. We're going to meet and we're going to start initial talks of an MOU or agreements, so to have all this in place So when their CIP gets approved, we can then run with it. So
What's the estimated cost of that, would you guess?
I'm thinking it's gonna be in the $100,000 to $200,000 range, because it's gonna be
That's just for the study.
about a year to study water quality data, and it's not easy to get down to the depths to then, it's a lot of sampling, a lot of data. So
Okay.
So
it's not a
that's
small
just for the
project.
study or for the whole thing?
That's the study and the design, yeah,
And then that's not the actual building of the extension?
correct, yeah.
How much do you think that would be? Ballpark.
Just for the study of design, 100 to 200,000?
I know the Auburn City Council doesn't run the Auburn Water District, but you remember that letter, it says all future will be based on usage. So can we at least
Oh, absolutely.
ask Kevin about?
It's already been declared, so
60/40 or whatever.
Oh, so they're gonna,
I already told him, he says, that's what I figured into my budget, so.
well,
You know,
there we go.
we're gonna
That's a
work
happy
on
Dan
it,
for
we're
a
gonna.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm glad I
good.
can do that for you.
Well, we'd like to just get an idea as soon as you can about what you think it might cost to, because I mean, I don't know if it's $1 million, we certainly gotta consider, are we gonna
It's
spend
a-
200,000?
It's a terribly complex project when you think about extending an intake across not a smooth bottom. There's ledges under the water that you don't see, and you extending that pipe out there, you know, getting it so you can't have a pipe that goes like this
Right.
along the bottom. So you know, again, I don't have all the information, but I'm gonna bet this is gonna be $1 million+ project to extend that intake.
But we'd only do it if
it shows a benefit.
there's a
if
benefit.
the water quality
Is the
It
juice,
should be
juice worth
deeper.
Because it
Deeper
could
water is better
theoretically,
water.
the concept is theoretically, if we extend that and it's the water quality is
It's
better,
deeper
then
water.
it's gonna extend the need, it's gonna continue our
waiver.
waiver of filtration.
And would it save us money on
chemicals. You could save hundreds of thousands a year in chlorine if you have colder water that requires less disinfection.
Okay.
I mean, there could be some huge benefits to doing this, but we need to determine what those
Yeah.
are to see if it's worth extending
Gotcha.
into.
All right.
So that's why we study it.
Excellent, okay. That's great stuff, and that's what we gotta talk about, the benefits being. I didn't think about the chemical benefits,
Yeah.
because the chemicals are going crazy.
And the other factor you gotta look at is you can't just study the water in the summer. That's why you're gonna have to study the water in the summer, the fall, the winter, the spring, because the water quality changes. And maybe you only draw out of the deep intake for these months and out of the shallow one for those months. You have to study all it, because the lake
Oh, right,
changes.
Right,
So
right,
it might, what we don't want is extend the intake, and it's worse than having the shallow one.
yeah,
So again, it's why you gotta study it.
right, that makes total
That
sense.
brings the price tag up, so.
Okay, alternate water supply.
We had this on there, I know you.
Yeah, we
guys
got
had-
together about a minute ago and decided
Okay.
that an extension of the intake would be a great alternative water supply. Other than that, we haven't done much.
With all seriousness, I know you guys wanted to put a committee together, and I'd like to be part of that committee,
Yeah,
and I'd be willing to, whatever you need for information.
Well, I'd be
and-
willing to, like I say, if we were gonna have some technical discussions, because I don't know where to start with that, to be honest with you. And I know that you can dig a hole, and if water pump comes bubbling up, you can whatever. But I'm talking about how do you really go about that? And there's a previous study that's been done supposedly that says that it's not feasible, but I don't know that that's, you know, so a
Yeah, so-
technical discussion about whether or not that's what I'd like to have.
So what I can do is I can email the entire board, find out who wants to be on that. I'm hearing that maybe you two would like to be on that. Is anyone else that has interest?
But I think us three were, I
Okay.
had talked about it. but-
Yeah.
Anyone that-
Who else?
it was
Do you
Okay.
three?
four of us here now.
Yeah.
I'm good. Kevin, do you wanna be on it?
With the alternative water supply? Sure.
There's four, I don't wanna be on it.
I'm fine, I'm good.
All right,
So there's
I'll
4 guys who
include
wanna be on
Jason
it.
just in case he wants to be on it. If he wants to bow out, that's fine. But, all right, we'll get an email out, we'll
Okay.
figure out a date that works, and we'll.
I like having the engineers, the engineers and the pilot.
There we go, that's right.
I'll bring my dowsing rod.
All right,
We'll walk around all over.
All right, anybody have anything they wanna add for the open session?
Yeah. I know we touched on the Stable Ridge thing, but I just wanted to make it known that I voted no to taking over that pumping station. I know it was a kind of a, it went through email, there was no real public comment or official vote here in this room, but I just wanted it to be known that
Yep.
I opposed that vote.
Okay, does anybody else have anything they wanna add, or about anything?
Next meeting's the 22nd, right?
Yeah, and Jason did mention he was gonna be on vacation with his kids somewhere, someplace.
Okay.
I think it's during vacation week. So,
Well, it's just, you did correct the newspaper. How'd they get 4:30 for both
I have
the
no idea.
water
It
and
wasn't,
sewer?
was it in the paper today?
No, it was in the paper Monday.
Monday.
Right,
it
but the
said
correction,
meeting. Oh, I
I've
didn't see
called,
the correction.
no,
I mean, I
I've
don't-
called 2 days for the
I
correction. I
don't know where they
called
got 4:30, I
Monday
mean, it's
and
always been 4, and all of a
I
sudden.
called
All right,
yesterday
so
for the
if that's it
correction.
for the open session,
motion to
thank you,
adjourn?
Kevin.
Yep, that's it.
Motion to
I
adjourn.
move that we adjourn.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
yeah.